I think this is live. Going live. It says go. Okay, it's live. Okay, so I'm going to do this all in one shot. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it works. I don't know. But basically, I'm going to be going over my entire Recon for bug bounties or penetration testing. I'm going to make this video unlisted. I don't know if any of you will get notified, but who knows? I tried this earlier and I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to edit this video. So I'm just going to stream it and download it and maybe do whatever I need to do. So with that, I'm just going to be going over everything, my methodology. So let's get into it. So first things first is understand your scope. So the scope is basically what you can and can't do. That's basically it. The rules of engagement. So with bug bounties and pen testing, it should be very clear what you can and cannot do. So yeah, just keep that in mind. There are rules when you do this stuff. Just saying. So next thing, and I'm not going to go over this because it was a pain in the ass to do this. So I'm not going to go over it. But when I do pen testing and bug bounties, I go through a cloud environment. So DigitalOcean or AWS, whatever you choose, I use that. The reason is some of the tools that we're going to be using, like Masscan, take up a lot of bandwidth, and you want to save bandwidth on your local machine, like your local network, so you could do other things while that's running in the background. So you want that to be running in DigitalOcean, and the giant network hog from DigitalOcean or whatever to the targets. So I personally do that. Plus, if you're doing bug bounties or if you're doing a pen test and someone says, you know, they catch like in the IDS or IPS logs, like this IP address is being extremely aggressive, and you know, they call up your ISP, Comcast, they will drop you as a customer like that. Like, just saying, like if there's a statement of work and the contract is not known, especially with bug bounties, because it's not known, you could kind of just do it at any time, they'll drop you like that. So again, DigitalOcean and AWS. So with that, I'm using a cloud environment, Ubuntu, and I'm going to be installing all the tools myself. And then I might do a little post-processing on my local machine, which is Windows, which I am actually going to do. That's part of the thing, is I'm going to locally do this. You can do this on a Kali machine, Ubuntu, whatever machine, like personal machine, but again, you got to keep that in mind. You're going to be using a lot of network bandwidth, and you could be dropped from your ISP. Cool, so let's get into the tools that I'm going to be using for Reconnaissance. There's quite a bit. Okay, so first tool is Web Screenshot. You're going to go ahead and pip install Web Screenshot. This is going to basically take a bunch of IP addresses and known ports for like HTML and PHP, and it's going to screenshot those, and you can visually see all of those like pages. So we're going to be using that. The next tool we're going to be using is Masscan. So this is how we're going to enumerate all the ports. We're going to mass scan all of the ranges, all the IPs, no port gets left untouched, and we're going to use that to fine-tune some scans and Nmap, so we can use like NSE and maybe some version testing. So that's kind of my methodology: spray and pray, and then kind of work our way down in a funnel. So that next one is Photon. Photon is an amazing tool for subdomain enumeration and finding internal and external links, and it also can pull down keys, like secret keys. Next up is Hurricane Electric BGP. So this is going to tell us the autonomous system numbers of our target. So in this case, it's Equifax. We're going to be looking up their kind of IP ranges, which you can see right here, all of those. We're going to use a little Linux command line magic to clean all that up. Next up, Shodan. I'm going to be showing you various Shodan search parameters. You could probably see it right there. But yeah, next one, DNS Dumpster. So we're going to be doing enumeration of subdomains. That will be fun. Next up, Metasploit. I don't know if I'm going to be using this for Recon, but it obviously will be used for exploitation and post-exploitation. And then I think this is just the install page. Yep. Next up, Sublister. Again, finding subdomains. So a lot of subdomain enumeration here. Next up, Lazy Recon Banhamsec. This Lazy Recon bash script is like crazy. it's slow, but it gets the job done. Like, it's pretty sweet. And going on, DigitalOcean. So this is kind of the scope. Again, anything public facing. Make sure you know what you know. Just Googling. This one I'm not going to use, but it's pretty cool. Top port slicer. It's basically you could scan for top ports, like commonly used ports, and work your way to like lesser known port. Troubleshooting, and then yeah, that's it. And then we're also going to be using traceroute. So for device enumeration, that might not get covered in the autonomous systems, but it will be networking gear, and we could test that networking gear because you can tell by the host names, hopefully, if it's internal to the network that we're going to be going into, and we could scan that and see if there's maybe some unauth checks for Cisco or Juniper or whatever vulnerabilities. So Aruba, that'd be fun. So let's get started. Like, let's just get into it. So we're going to install all these tools. So anything on GitHub, it's just git clone and then the URL. So like right here, this is the URL. It ends in .git. So you're going to copy that into the command line. Boom, it downloads that repo. So let me just go. So first thing that I do is anytime I do an engagement on a customer, or if I'm doing an engagement on a bug bounty, is I create the directory for that, customer. So like right here, I have Equifax. So all of my findings will go into Equifax. All my notes, all of my screenshots, everything will go in there. So you can see right here, I get cloned Photon, Sublister. This is just Go, Lazy Recon, Masscan, and then I also want to do sudo apt install nmap. Did not cover that, but we are going to be using nmap. So once that's installed, we're going to go ahead and go on to Hurricane Electric. So autonomous systems, basically it's just a number associated with a group of networks sort of thing. It's used for BGP. So for us, I don't know if these are Equifax that I'm thinking, the Equifax we want to like target, but I know these are. So we're just going to go ahead and copy these. So Control C, and then we're just going to CD into Equifax. And I already did some stuff in here. I apologize, but we're going to do nano cider.txt. And we're just going to paste it in here. Looks super ugly. And I would say I would go as far as to like try to clean all this up automatically, but I'm just going to Control K it. It's going to be so ugly. I'm sorry, but we're going to remove all of the United States, United Kingdom. I could probably just use grep, honestly, for United. But gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm just gonna do this for now and worry about the other stuff later. Control X, Y, enter. So now we got the IP ranges. We're gonna cat cider. So we got that. So now we could just use a tool called cut. So cut delimiter. So it's gonna be looking for where to start out. So we're just gonna do a space, and then we're just gonna do F1 right there. So now we've copied over from Hurricane Electric. Now we got this right here. Cool. So we could just throw that into its own file using the caret. That caret basically takes the output of whatever you just did right there and puts it into its own file. So we'll just do cider.txt. Cool. So now we got that. So if we cat, we can actually remove cider.txt and move cider.txt to just that. So cat cider.txt. Cool. So now we're going to throw all of this into Masscan. So we're going to feed that list into Masscan and just scan everything. It's going to be crazy. So once you do a git clone and install Masscan, you'll just cd into it, cd Masscan, and you do the make and all that. So sudo bin Masscan, and then we're going to do tac capital L means import list, and // means go back a directory, and we'll go into Equifax and we will do cider.txt. So now our input file is this over here, these /28s, and let me actually do this. Hold on, give me a sec. I'm gonna remove that. So now you can just see my screen. Sorry. So the // means we're going to go back a directory, and then we're going to go into Equifax and then cider.txt. That's our input file. So if you want to, you could do tac p 0 through 65535. That's all of the available ports you can possibly scan. We're going to do rate. And again, this is where I want to get like everything as possible. Rate, we're going to do 10,000. And then tech N, we're not going to, we don't need to resolve the DNS name. That's just going to add more time. We also don't need to ping the IPs to see if they're live. We're just going to blast out and see what responds. And then TAC OG means it's going to output into a greppable format. And again, we're going to go back and store this into that Equifax folder. Equifax, and then I already ran it as Masscan, but it's going to throw everything into Masscan.txt. So you run that, and this is what's going to look like. So if you go back, Equifax, and then cat Masscan.txt, you get this giant list right here. So a bunch of information, timestamp, host, you know, port open, blah, blah, blah. So let's filter that down. So I talked about earlier about a tool called Web Screenshot, which basically screenshots HTML and stuff like that, HTTP pages. So we want to separate port 80 and 443 and maybe 8080 into their own files. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're just going to do, and we're going to run cat first just to see if it works. So we're going to cat masscan.txt cut F or D space F2, I believe is what it is. F2, F3. Okay, so it's F3. So we got all these IPs right here. And we are going to, okay, sorry. Give me one sec. So we're going to grep for 80. Okay, so these are all the IP addresses that have 80. Now, you can see there's 40, 80, and 80 right here. So we might have some issues because there's timestamp, but we could do this. We could just do, so cut, let me do this. So cut, delimiter, and then F. We can actually do this. Let's just be smart. So ports space. Let's see what that does. Smart. That's what you do. Use your brain, Cody. So that's going to only give us port 80. And then we're going to put that into its own file, HTTP IPs. And then we're going to do the same thing with 443, except we're going to name this one HTTPS 443. And I already have the file, but again, all the ports that are 443 right there. And then maybe we could check 8080, see if that exists. Nope. 8081, nope. Okay, but anyways, we got our port 80 and 443 ports segregated. So now let's go ahead and web screenshot all of this fun stuff right now. So if we do now less, we could remove the cider.txt. We honestly don't need that right now. But let's see what we got. So we got cat http ips.txt. So those are the HTTP ones. So let's go ahead and 443 and https ips.txt. And then cat https ips.txt. And we're going to cut that down. So we're going to cut delimiter space F3. Yep. And then HTTPS HTTPSS. I'm going to do that just to make sure that I don't overwrite the file that I'm inputting. God, that would be so annoying. And then remove HTTPS IPs, move HTTPS IPs to HTTPS ips.txt. Cool. So now let's take a look at what we have here. So we have HTTP IPs, TXT, HTTPS, IPs.txt, and then we have not HTTP. So let's take a look at that. I'll show you how I made that. So these are kind of ports that are not 80 or 443. So the way I did that is actually kind of cool. So if we cat masscan.txt, it's our entire dump. So we want to grep out, meaning we want to filter out 443 and 80. So we're going to grep, and it's going to be tac v. Tac v means ignore. It's weird. So, but let me do this again. So grep v, and then in quotes ports 443, and then grep again v in quotes ports 80, like that. And then that's how we got this list right here. So it's everything other than 40 and 443 and 80. So we could take a look at these individually as we go on, and then all I did after that was put that into not http.txt. So that's how I got that file. So ls. So now let's go ahead and web screenshot port 80. So I already did that. You can see the file right there. And this is kind of what I ran. It's so screwy running headless Linux, and I apologize. It's a lot better if you have just normal Linux. So this is the command I had to run. So you have to apt install xvfb run to make this work. So xvfb run web screenshot, that's the program we're using. No x server, meaning it only runs because it's headless meaning it doesn't have, like, it's only a command line. And then render binary, and then I had to point it to phantom.js. So you have to install phantom.js, which you sudo apt install phantom.js, and then from there the renderer binary, you have to type in which phantom.js to see the directory, which is in user bin phantom.js. So let's go back up to the command. So headless Linux, renderer binary, user bin phantom.js, and then the rendering program is phantom.js. Input, so that tac is input, HTTP IP, so it's all of the port 80 IPs. We specify the port, and then the output folder is Equifax screenshot _80. So we're going to do the same thing for 443 though. 443, port 443, and then HTTPS. Let's just validate. And it's gonna be a back, and then back. HTTPS IPs, and then Equifax 443. Hit run. And then 200, and you're gonna get a bunch of these errors for some reason, but it is taking screenshots on some. But while that's running, let's go on to Shodan. So we got a couple autonomous systems right here. We got 2924 and 1140. So what I usually do is I'll copy one of the autonomous system numbers, and the command you type in on Shodan, or the filter, is ASN, and then the autonomous system number with AS in front of it. And it'll load, it'll search, and mind you have to have a premium account to do this. But once I do that, I will just take the name, Equifax, because it could be named something else, and then just use org. And use that, whatever it shows up in Shodan. So Equifax. So bam, right here we have 311 results. And let's see. Probably didn't screenshot. Yeah, 260 errors, of course. So I'm gonna troubleshoot that in a little bit, but let's focus on Shodan right now. So let me pull this up. So Equifax, we have top services HTTPS, HTTP 179, DNS 8081. So for me, I don't care about 80 and 443 that much because we're gonna handle that in the web screenshot thing. So what you can do is actually defilter or unfilter results. So you just use the minus and then the search parameter. So minus port 443 minus port 80. So it's going to give us all the results other than port 80 and 443. So now you can see that NTP and SSH opened up. So, okay, so let's, minus port 22 and 53. So we're going to minus out SSH and DNS because I don't care about that. But anyways, that's showdown right there. So now let's get into some juicy stuff. So let's go into Photon actually. We'll CD into the Photon. I think that. So once you install Photon and you pip install all the requirements, Python 3 photon.py, you just run that and it'll tell you, everything that you need to enter in. So only URLs, user agent data, proxy. I don't need proxies, threads. So I'll do tac T, and we'll just do 3, tac O, and then this will create a folder. So in our case, since we're here, we're gonna backspace or // to go back. Again, we're keeping everything in Equifax, and then we're going to name it Photon, and then you run that, and this is what the results look like. So we'll go back. Equifax ls cd photon, and then we got some files in here. So endpoints, I want to get this working, like 443 HTTP. Why is it doing HTTP? There's SSL. TAC S, that's what we want. TAC S. Let's see if that does anything if we just randomly throw that in here. TAC S. Oh, so this actually does look like it's working somewhat. Let's see. Oops. Problem solved. Woo! So it's working. Awesome. So now we're getting those screenshots. Let's go ahead and pull up WinSCP. And WinSCP will just allow us to remotely transfer files to our home machine. So let's go ahead and let me go into DigitalOcean, copy IP address. Oh, this is going to be a pain though. Username, root. So I'm actually going to have to do this real quick. Cat. That is not what we want. Oh, we need a PPK. God damn it. Putty, you're so stupid. Documents. And then we will just move everything from Equifax. Where is that? And download it. There we go. So now we are downloading all of everything to our Windows computer right now, and we can view the screenshots that we took from our desktop in the cloud. And then we have screenshots. Woo! Screenshot time! So let's see, 403 forbidden. So right away, I'm already interested in 3716. So the cool thing about the file name is actually the IP address. So we'll keep going. Forbidden. Request forbidden by admin rules. Nothing on this page. Interesting. Welcome to Nginx again. Like I'm gonna be so busy tonight. So we got all these ports right here. I know what 22 is. I don't know what 348 is. So we're just going to go ahead and copy that. And we're just going to type in port 3478. Stun server. Stun server. But let's see. So speedguide.net tells us kind of what the known ports are, or typically associated ports. It could very well, again, any port could be associated with any service. Most of the time it's going to be what you find on here. So stun server. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna end this right now. That's pretty much, there's more we can do, but that's as far as I want to go, and that's what I'm comfortable with. But the main thing really is the web screenshots and then running the Nmap NSC scripts. And then you could do more enumeration with DNS Dumpster. That one's pretty good. And then you can export that into an Excel spreadsheet. But basically what I do from here is I'll show you again. ls cd Equifax is I separate everything into its own file. So I got HTTP IPs, HTTPS IPs, IP ranges, which is what we pulled off BGP or HE, Masscan, the photon output, everything that's not HTTP, and then the SNMP one we can remove. That's where I put like the Nmap output. I'd honestly put Nmap outputs into its own file, but that's it. I will probably make more videos, hopefully streams. This is not a stream because I like wanted to make it safe first to make sure I didn't pop anything and just say fuck. So I think this is as far as I want to go, but it's a lot of cut, a lot of Linux command line, and I would honestly say I wish I did not have headless Linux, but gotta do what you gotta do. So anyways, that's it. If you enjoy stuff like this, like it. If you like kind of the thought process that I have, I kind of speak everything out loud, feel free to subscribe. I'll try to make more technical videos. Again, I always say that. I do end up finding myself talking very high level, but technical videos are fun sometimes. So with that, you all have a fine and dandy day. I would usually put my girlfriend up here. That's that redhead girl. It's my girlfriend. She likes it when I put that in my videos. But anyways, I'm going to shut up. Have a good day. Bye.